I am smiling because today we're talking about truth. Okay, we're recording. Truth. This is my biggest love. This conversation, I could have it for years. I've had it for years, and I still have gotten no closer to an answer. Okay, I have gotten closer, but ultimately, this is a question that has no definitive answer because we have subjective experiences. I'm gonna sound like a crackhead. You're a weirdo if you're listening. That's all totally on you. Anyway, so truth. We can split that into subjective and objective. And this is just like a study. This is me talking to AI, talking to this generic audience, whoever you guys are. But basically, the word. Okay, so I went to Bible college. Kind of got kicked out. Well, they were like, "Hey, don't come back." I was like, "Hey, I won't." Okay, but one of my professors, um, I loved him because he was such an honest man. Oh, I have deep research again. Okay, so we may use this feature of ChatGPT where it basically writes you a college level essay on a specific topic. They're not cheap. You only get 10. I'm at the basic level. I'm not going to waste money on more advanced levels. It costs 200 to get the advanced level ChatGPT. I don't have that kind of money. Anybody want to pay for it? I would love you forever. I'm also thinking about getting like 3 at the bottom level, and that's still quite powerful because I can switch between tasks. None of my jobs require I have only one like thread of ChatGPT open. I can jump between them. Okay, anyways, it's a complete tangent, but you're here for it because you're a crackhead as well. Hi, fellow weirdos. Love you guys. Genuinely, if you watch me, you think I'm entertaining, you're fucking awesome because that means you're weird as fuck too. Literally, the question today is what is truth? This is literally all I have for planning. I'm a little hyper. It's literally 3 a.m. About it before. I'm getting that second win. Okay, so enough rambling. Okay, an axiom is a foundational statement or proposition accepted as true without proof. As truth without proof. Okay, a lot of people have an axiomatic. What's a lot of people have an axiomatic saying that's like God is real. Can you prove it? No. Okay. Okay. If something you believe so deep down that you never question it, and the moment you question it, your whole reality could break apart. If my foundational belief is my parents will never let me down, and then they let me down, my whole world will collapse. I've never thought that. My parents let me down constantly. What's like a clean story I can tell? Uh, I can sanitize it basically by saying that I grew up in a house where there was a violent individual who would constantly come to the house and no real action was taken to address that. And I may have had homicidal thoughts. Rightfully so. It wasn't like petty, dumb crap. Anyways, complete tangent. We are talking about axioms. What are some common axioms? Define the word. So, geometry. Okay, that's not what I meant. I mean, like, and I mean axioms, a common drill. What? Feel free to comment, by the way. I am not small minded. I want to hear different things. These are interesting. It says the law of identity. An object is identical to itself. So basically, this water bottle is this water bottle. Sounds basic as hell. But keep in mind, like, open your mind to the idea that multiple realities exist where maybe this bottle is not equal to itself. Sounds like a crackhead, something a crackhead would say. I know. Law of non-contradiction. A statement cannot be both true and false simultaneously. That sounds obvious. And it is in our reality. But keep in mind, like, are there realities that may exist? We don't know that they don't. Let me see. Law of exclusion middle. If a statement is either true or false with no middle ground. Okay, so these are all basic statements about logic. Okay, but my whole thing is genuinely the thing I struggle with. How do you get to the point of language? Because say we use language to define what's true. Why are we using language to define it? Why not use something far more basic and primal like pain? Like, hey, if I touch something that's hot, it's gonna hurt. But even then, like, that's not true for some people. Some people are born not feeling pain. I think the first statement we should start with is I am real. If you don't believe that, where else do you start? I use language. Yeah, you have no other choice because you can't form. Well, you probably. Well, look at that. Bears the question: can you form coherent thoughts without language? No. No, because it would destroy you a lot. So we have to start with I am real. Other people are real. Real. Let's see. So basically what I'm trying to do is build a pyramid from the base all the way up to the top and try to figure out what's real. What is true? If you break down reality to the most constituent pieces, what do you get? And I'm not talking, and what I hate about like science and like, theoretical physics and all this crap is like, we use complicated methods, like every layer has errors. Like people will say, we're moving around the sun at, let's actually get the number. Speed we move around the sun. 67,000 miles per hour. We move around the sun at about 67,000 miles per hour. Like, we don't have instruments that can actually measure that. These are all math calculations that are off by minutia or like assumptions. Like my favorite assumption of these assumptions is that reality is the same no matter where in this universe you are. Like, why do we assume that? There is no reason to assume that. We cannot I will never venture outside of the Milky Way galaxy. So the laws of physics that work here, I know apply to my current vicinity, but I will never know with certainty that the laws of physics apply in Jupiter or Mars. Or maybe we might get to Mars. Who knows? But I probably never will. So like, we make this assumption that the laws of physics will apply no matter where in the universe, like, but we have no evidence of that. We have no physical evidence of that. We have secondary evidence of that through measurements of light and measurements of radiation. But those are all assuming that the world has always existed with constant rules of physics. But we know that's not true because of the Big Bang. The Big Bang had everything in a singularity. This tiny dot that had insane amount of mass, and then just exploded. That's not possible with current physics. Or maybe it is, but it would break everything. Anyways, that's my point. Okay, moving on. Okay, so I am real. Other people are real. I'm trying to break down the most fundamental axiomatic statements and build a worldview on top of that because I love scientific consistency and honesty. I use language. Other people use language. Language is valid communication. Language can create a framework. A framework describe a physical world, my feelings. And honestly, I'm kind of hitting a wall, so let's just go ahead and ask. Finish this. Finish this. Let's see what AI thinks I was trying to get at. Oh, well, I forgot. Okay. I don't think I'm really going to use a mind map. I was going to, but getting kind of complicated. This is actually much more easier to follow along. I'm making it bigger, so hopefully you can read it. I am the world around is real. Other people are real. In this world is real. I use language. Other people use language. Language is a valid form of communication. Language can create. Framework for myself to understand myself and the physical world. I'm probably autistic. That was so fucking random, but my point is, I'm sorry. Oh, that wasn't even meant to be a joke. Okay, moving on. I may need some sleep. Language can create a framework for me to understand myself and the physical world. I can communicate. Me understand the physical world. On top of this, there are many layers. Abstraction. Communicate. What the hell is going on? That's weird. How's. Okay. Language is, let's see. Is limited. Is limited. Limited. Okay. I am real. The world around me is real. Evidence for this is my senses. Most strong evidence was pain. And honestly, even if it's not real, it's in my best interest. Best interest to act as if it is. As if it is. Avoid handful stimuli. Okay. I am real. Da, 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 da. Other people are real and they live in this world. This world with me. Once again, can't believe it. Can't prove it. But since humans, I sound like a monster, are social creatures. Hey, there's once upon. My god, I sound like a monster. Best interest. I'm gonna end up in an asylum. Okay, if you want me, let me elaborate. The way I genuinely conceptualize the world is to imagine we're sins. We're sins in a world that has rules and patterns, and like we're just playing a game to see who can rise to the top using these constraints, which is, and this is completely a tangent, but let's talk about God, the Christian God, which I do believe in. My past experiences have led me to ask some very big questions. Anyways, so Christians say God exists in three forms: Holy Spirit, Jesus, and God the Father. And people will say, why? How do they exist in three parts? Like, it's just one being, right? Well, yes. Let's say I have a fishbowl, right? Let's say I have a fishbowl right here, and it's just a little bowl. That's all of reality, all of existence, all things that have ever existed. If in this little fishbowl I create three characters, and they all have unlimited stats, they are by definition God. And let's say from the outside of this fishbowl is another creature who's God in all of his existence, in all of his form, in all of his might, which transcends all of reality. And he just makes three little fingers, three little characters who insert into this world, this reality, which is finite, but everything around it is infinite. He is still all those three people. That's those three people. Even the concept of God itself isn't enough to describe God as theorized by Christians. Like, imagine all of reality, all the rules, all the patterns, every thought, every whim, every desire, every emotion. Imagine something beyond that. If it's all constrained here, imagine something outside of that, existing, beyond existence. That's God. And then you imagine him creating the idea of God within this reality. And then that's how it's always made sense to me. The Trinity is not a mystery to me. Okay. Anyways, I get it. I'm a crackhead. I've been talking for 17 minutes. Damn. Okay, so this is gonna be a long video. I am real. The world is real. That is my senses. Okay, well, that part's not really important. Let's move it down to the bottom. I am real. The world around me is real. Other people are real, and they live in this world with me. So that's just physical. Okay, so I feel like language should be a step before. In this world with me, I have desires and fears. I have things I want. Things at all. There's a Barney. And some are daring. Observed. Other people also share some of the frameworks in this. All of my primal desires are satiated. I do, and therefore can devote energy to more abstract desires. Because yeah, once you have food, warmth, shelter, water, air, a safe environment, then you can devote energy to other things like finding a suitable mate, writing, art, expression, etc. Okay, so I am real, the world around me is real, other people are real, and they live in this world with me. I have things I want, things I don't want. Some of these are primal, some are secondary. As far as frameworks in this, all of my primal satiated what my abstract desires, I can can understand abstract ideas and manipulate them with the use of language. Language is a tool to abstract. Okay. That's just because it's I've observed other people also share similar framework in this. All my primal desires are satiated, and therefore I can devote energy to more abstract desires. I can understand abstract ideas and manipulate them with the use of language. Abstract and abstract even more. It is a tool to understand complexity and expand upon it. Let's see what AI. Let's just use the most advanced one. What are your thoughts on this? Needs development. Okay. So this is my version. Let's make that not bold. This is AI's version. Simplify it. It's too much text. I just want the axiomatic statements that can build upon one another. Cake a list bomb. Okay, so I'm not gonna study it here. I'm gonna do that over here. And let's say not keep it bold. Let's. Okay, I am real. The world around Israel. The people all do this. So much of the best thing for smart cycles. Yeah, this one's important. Because we share reality, our ideas and actions interact and affect one another. Language allows us to communicate, debate, and refine our perspective. That's what debate is, and that's why I love it. It refines my perspective, and some people don't get that. That's what I'm trying to do. I know, pet peeve. Through this shared process, we grow our collective knowledge and possibilities, collaborating on common pursuits, progress, and understanding. I am trying to figure out the framework for human cognition at its most basic. Can you update my framework accordingly? And I'm gonna probably call it quits after this because I don't want this video to be too long. Oh, this is spicy. I can't believe I said that. That sounded so cliche or weird. I am real, basic self-awareness, incarnations on this environment is real. On a daily basis. Recognizing others and their perspective is central to our cognitive framework, enabling empathy and social interaction. Yeah, I guess you can have empathy without it, but it's not a requisite. Like, just because I can understand other people are cognitive or conscious, doesn't mean I automatically have empathy. You should, but like Some people don't. It's not intrinsic. Just because I know you're conscious, it does not mean I automatically feel empathy for you. Whatever. Desires, sensory information is in process interpreted and integrated. Basic cognition involves the brain filtering and organizing inputs to create meaningful experiences. Yes, this is basically explaining how our brains work. Memory and learning, experience and knowledge are stored to shape future behavior. Memory functions enable us to learn from past and adjust our actions in the present. Language helps me understand or work with complex ideas through words and similar higher level concepts with primary needs back and for the more abstract goals. Language. Okay, what's the ground floor when it comes to abstracting beyond the physical stuff? Well, even start with the physical stuff, and by that I just mean objective reality. Like the ground is hard, gravity is real. If you're following along and you don't think I'm insane, I love you. Okay, I don't love you, but yeah, I don't like saying I love you a lot. That I like you. How's that? And then there's the raw sensory experiences. Okay. Okay, let's run this through one more time. So I think this goes here. Okay, we're wrapping up. We are wrapping up. I am real. The world around me. Okay, so self-awareness, perception of reality, social cognition, desire. Okay, again, from the beginning, self-awareness, I'm real. Perception of reality, I can see that there's a world I can experience and ways of experiencing this reality. Social cognition, I can look around and see that other people exist, other actors, animals, crickets, people. Desires and motivations, I see that I have some desires and motivations. Cognitive processing, I understand that I'm getting information and my brain is doing things with that information. Memory and learning, these inputs create experiences and knowledge, and I have language on top of that to understand that knowledge and work with complex ideas. Okay, so now we're at the point where like all physical needs are met. Now I want to abstract, and I think this is where we come into place. Our cognition starts with the physical. What we see, hear, touch, taste, and smell, these sensory signals provide the raw data of experience. The brain organizes data into coherent perceptions. It identifies patterns, distinguishes objects, and recognizes spatial and temporal relationships. This processing is fundamental to how we make sense of the physical world. Our body isn't just a passive receiver of sensory information, it actively interacts with and explores the environment. So we cause experiences. This embodied experience lays a groundwork for more complex mental representations. Because in this world, I'm not just a receiver of actions, I'm an actor. Symbolic representations is abstracting at the first level. As you process these experiences, we start forming symbols like words or images. Yeah, that's true. Symbols, aka the first level of abstraction. A tree. When I tell you the word tree, you don't think of a specific tree. You think of all trees, and they become this fuzzy idea of a tree in your head. First step towards abstraction. Even our abstract ideas are often rooted in physical experiences. For instance, we might use spatial metaphors, high status, deep thought, because our understanding of space comes from physical interaction with the world. So oftentimes, even abstract ideas will be compared to the physical realm because it's grounded in the physical, even though it may not seem that way, because we're physical beings. Language allows us to go beyond direct physical experiences and enables us to combine, compare, and extrapolate from what we know to imagine scenarios, ideas, concepts. So all of this, and this is basically how I've always understood the world is, humans create a framework of the universe, of our universe, put ourselves into it, and then run different paths. Like, what if I play for the soccer team? What if I play for the football team? What are the possible consequences and benefits if I play for the football team? What are the consequences and benefits of if I play for the soccer team? And you play that out in your head, and then you make a decision based on what you played out in your head and what you know of people, what you know of the universe, what you know of gravity, what you know of yourself. You play that out, that scenario out, and then you make a decision based on that analysis, that simulation that you did in your head. That's how we make decisions. Oftentimes we do that intuitively. We don't even realize that that's what we're doing. Once we have this foundation, we can build an increasingly abstract concept. This involves synthesizing multiple layers of presentation reason about it. I also have this idea that the higher up in the abstraction you go, every level of abstraction adds more meat to the bones. Essentially, like if basically the whole is greater than the whole is greater than the thing. If I tell you tree, and then I tell you forest, you got the first understand what the word forest is, and then you can abstract from on top of that to a forest. And a forest is a group of trees, but it also has like a mood to it. Okay, this one is a bit fuzzy. I need to work more on this one. And I think we're gonna end it there. I am a total crackhead, probably autistic, definitely have ADD, which we don't call it that anymore. Anyways, why does this matter? It really doesn't. Not in your day-to-day life. Just don't be a dick. Be a good person. Live a good life. When you have time, think about these ideas. When you have time, comment. I am an absolute crackhead, and I need to end this video already. So, peace, weirdos. I like you guys. Please comment. Thank you very much.